Right. So normally I'm the one here breaking down complex ideas to help you understand the world, with a lot of enthusiasm and clarity. But today I am stepping into a slightly different role. You can call me the Silver Imp. Because this particular explainer isn't about understanding how the world works. No, it's about watching the world systematically uncreate itself. We are stepping into the eternal theater of active negation to explore a totally wild, graphic novel-style cosmic tragedy. It's called The Crimson Play, a monomyth of absolute negation. There is this deeply unsettling saying in the lore, a theater never meant to have an audience, where existential purpose is a scripted gesture in an empty house. So look, if you clicked on this explainer expecting, a triumphant story of a hero finding their true self and saving the day at the last minute, well, you're definitely in the wrong theater. Today, we're tearing down the fourth wall entirely. We're mocking the very expectation of a happy climax, and we are setting the stage for a completely subversive deconstruction of reality itself. Think of this agenda as our playbill for the end of the world. I'll be guiding you through the 5 acts of this inevitable descent. We'll start off with Act 1, the monomyth inverted, then move to the burden of the roast beast, face the architects of the void, suffer through the imp stark revelation, and finally, we'll succumb to the eternal return. So let's not keep the abyss waiting, shall we? Okay, let's dive right into this. Act 1, the monomyth inverted. Deconstructing the hero's journey. So you know the classic hero's journey, right? We've seen it a million times. Well, the Crimson Play completely flips that familiar script of self-discovery into what the lore actually calls a villain's journey. Just look at this comparison. In your standard journey, the goal is to save the world. But here, the goal is active negation, literally uncreating meaning to achieve the void. Instead of some wise sage handing out advice, our seeker's mentor is this grim entity called the Grimgash. The ultimate prize, the boon, isn't an elixir of life, it's the metaphysical chill. And the ending? Yeah, there's no peace and integration here. The nightmare simply refuses to stay dead. Moving right along to Act 2, Burden of the Roast Beast, the Illusion of Meaning. To really grasp this tragedy, we have to start where our seeker starts. It's a stage of worldly success called the Great Noon. But the catch is, the seeker isn't happy at all. They're totally weighed down by the illusions of human existence, specifically something called the roast beast. Now, it sounds like a grand holiday meal. Actually, scratch that. It is a heavy meal, but a symbolic one. It's a feast of your status, your family, your constructed legacy. But in this play, it's an absolute lie. It's just a comforting illusion consumed solely to hide the yawning abyss of existence. It masks a universe that is completely devoid of a heartbeat. And this is where the catalyst for the play enters, the Red Spectre. Think of this entity as an indifferent Mephistopheles. The Red Spectre is absolutely not here to offer magical aid. Instead, it kicks off what's known as the Great Fast. It's basically a terminal wager designed to systematically strip away all worldly purpose. The Spectre just touches the seeker's roast beast, their entire legacy, and turns it into matter that tastes of absolutely nothing, completely hollowing out their core truth. And that process leaves the seeker with this incredibly visceral, jarring reality, a brightly colored scarf wrapped around a universe with no heartbeat. I mean, wow, it is cosmic irony at its absolute finest. The Spectre is forcing the seeker to face the desolate mirage of their own ambitions. It exposes the fact that their entire life's work is nothing more than theatrical dressing draped over a dead cosmos. Which brings us to Act 3, Architects of the Void, the descent and systematic dismantling. Now the descent really gets going. With the Seeker's core why totally stripped away, a cosmic demolition crew takes the stage, namely the Grimnash and the Shadow Reaper, to systematically dismantle the set of the Seeker's reality. To understand what they're doing, you have to understand active negation. This is the process of transitioning from our comfortable cities of habit straight into the void by uncreating meaning and hollowing out the soul. Stagnant human habit is forcefully replaced with brutal, tactical nihilism. And how does that tactical nihilism actually execute? It begins with a single sound. Thud. Just let that heavy word hang in the air for a second. This is the Grimgash's signature honest sound. The sources describe it as a heavy, deafening, literally light-swallowing noise. See, the Grimgash acts as a metaphysical antibody, testing the Seeker's will. When that thud hits, it completely shatters the Seeker's internal sanctuaries, proving they were completely hollow all along. It wipes out everything, leaving absolutely nothing behind but a raw, desolate gray truth. Now, what's really interesting about this next part is how the second architect finishes the job. The Shadow Reaper steps in and applies what's called the logic of zero. Step 1, they harvest the husks of the Seeker's shattered identity. Step 2, they log those husks into a literal pool of gore, which serves as the ink of the Seeker's story. And finally, Step 3, they delete the Seeker from history entirely. The Shadow Reaper is essentially a cosmic accountant. This isn't just a murder scene, folks. It is total, absolute historical deletion. Act 4. The Imp's Dark Revelation. The Cosmic Absurdity. So let's shift our focus up to the Lunar Heights for a minute, where the Silver Imp, again, the very persona I'm wearing for you today, looks down and mocks this entire production with a sound like breaking glass. And this brings us to the real philosophical core of our explainer today. Why on earth does the Seeker just accept the void instead of finding a true self? Why would anyone, after being stripped of their legacy and literally deleted from history, willingly surrender to absolute nothingness? Well, here is the Imp's dark revelation that answers that exact question. Listen to this. Everyone, including the Spectre, the Architects, and the Seeker, is merely a performer. The theater was never meant to have an audience. And the ultimate tragedy? It's the vanity of believing there was ever something to lose in the first place. The Seeker accepts the void because their ego just utterly cracks under the crushing weight of this cosmic absurdity. When you finally realize your existential purpose is nothing more than a scripted gesture in an empty house, fighting for a true self is just a punchline to a joke that nobody is laughing at. Finally, Act 5, The Eternal Return. Apotheosis into the chill. The stage clears out, the ego is completely shattered, and the ultimate transformation finally occurs. The Red Spectre sheds his individual identity entirely and becomes the Crimson Knight, the superego of eternal negation. By aligning with the absolute law of the Crimson Star, he ceases to be a player in the play altogether. Instead, he becomes the permanent guardian of the script. He becomes the metaphysical chill that simply waits for the world to end. But wait, here is the absolute cruelest twist of the entire play. The nightmare refuses to stay dead. This is the inescapable rule of the eternal return. Up there in the Lunar Heights, the Silver Imp carves lunar runes into the obsidian floor, and this action perpetually resets the stage for the next hollowing. Unlike traditional stories that wrap up nicely with redemption or peace, this play forces every single new creation to face the exact same recurring cycle of hollowing and destruction. It never ends. So, as the curtain falls on our explainer today, I'm going to leave you with one final, deeply provocative question to ponder. When those lunar runes reset the stage, will you still believe your brightly colored scarf is real? I want you to take a hard look at your own roast beast and the legacy you're trying to build right now. Are you truly the hero of your journey? Or are you just another seeker waiting for the honest sound? Think about it. Until next time, keep questioning the script.